How's it going, everybody? John here. Hope you're having a great day and welcome to my studio. In today's lesson, I'm going to show you 5 common beginner mistakes that I've seen over the years from teaching in so many different situations, online and in person. All right, let's check them out. I've written this down here for all of you on my whiteboard here, and I'm just going to go through them one by one. All right, number 1 is that your strum hand is out too far. All right, so what does this mean? Let's say that you're playing a melody or a riff, and a lot of the times when you first start playing guitar, that's one of the first things that you'll learn, like a riff or someone shows you something. For example, the first song that I ever learned was this. A little Nirvana. And what I want to talk about is when I'm seeing beginners' hands come out too far. So first of all, they're holding the pick a lot of times too tight, and you want to be loose with the pick. You don't want to just death grip it. And it's like they're jabbing at the strings like this. And it's not that kind of a motion, you know, you can't come in from that far out. You've got to collapse your wrist down, get closer to the strings. Now, there's different opinions on this. I'll tell you what I would recommend and what I do, and then I'll show you another option as well that other people use. And what I do is I rest my pinky. So I'm anchoring down here on the pick guard, and it's just touching there, and my hand is more in a collapsed position versus out like this. Some people are trying to play like this, right? So you want to just rein it in, and then you'll notice that immediately your accuracy is going to improve. And it's not that it's stuck. It moves around, and sometimes it even touches the strings, but I've got that connection with the guitar. Now, a lot of people that play closed wrist like this, so their fingers aren't out, I notice a lot of times are either resting on the strings or resting up above. You're not just floating in the air, you know what I mean? At least when you're playing like a riff or a single note line. Of course, when you're strumming, that's a totally different thing. But here, bring that strum hand in, and that's going to help you. That's the first mistake that I see really often. Okay, mistake number 2 is just very simple, not playing in tune. So you want to make sure that you tune up your guitar. And I have a video on this. I can link it up down below. But you always want to play your guitar perfectly in tune. Now, as you get better, you'll notice that your hands, you can just intonate better, but you want to make sure that you tune up every time before you play, and you're checking those notes. I also stretch the strings. You know, so if I'm tuning a note, usually I'll stretch the string before I play it, and that'll help me stay in tune when I go to play, say, a bend or something, and it's not going to go out of tune. All right, mistake number 3 is not muting on chords. So let's take a C chord, for example. Here's our just standard open position C chord, probably one of the first chords a lot of people learn. So you've got your C. Now they're strumming a song, right? Like let's say they're playing Knocking on Heaven's Door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Get to that C, it sounds like that. And what that is letting that low E string ring out. And a pro player is going to take whatever chord they're playing and mute the notes that they don't want to be heard. So this actually applies to every chord, unless, of course, you're playing a 6-string chord, in which case you're trying to have all the notes ring out. But let's take, for example, a D chord. D, I'm going to try and play from D down. That low E, I'm going to mute with my thumb. And what's another chord? A minor. Same thing, muting that low E. C. So they learn a song and then they're strumming and there's all these notes that are ringing out in each chord that you don't want to be heard. So that's number 3. All right, number 4 is not playing close to the frets. Okay, so let's say you've got your D chord there, right? Now remember, the fret is this metal thing here, this metal wire hammered in to the fretboard. Now I shoot to play right before the fret. So that's going to be my 2nd fret. Now if I go back here, it's not going to work. It's going to sound buzzy and not good. So sometimes, a student will have a whole chord lined up like a D, but they're too far back, and it's like you got to just come slightly closer to the frets, and your tone improves a lot. So playing close to the frets. Now some people are like, well, you want to play in the middle. I don't like the middle because when I play, I tend to slip back a little bit. And so if I'm shooting for the middle and then I slip back a little bit, then I'm in the danger zone. So I want to keep it right up close next to the frets and just get a good clean tone. All right, the last mistake is number 5 here, and that's pulling on chords. And this has to do with, again, tuning. So let's say I have a student that tunes up, and then they go to play a chord, but they grip the chord too hard. So they tune up. Here's your guitar in tune with an E. Sounds pretty close to being in tune. And then they play the chord because they're pulling too hard. Now, I'm on an acoustic, but this can happen easily on an electric with lighter strings, and they can kind of pull the strings. So that's, again, another thing that a pro player is going to do is they're going to slightly push and pull on the strings with their ear to make it sound perfectly in tune, but you don't want to overdo it like this and make sure that you're, not pulling the entire chord to where it sounds out of tune. There you go. That is my 5 common beginner mistakes that I've seen over the years. So check yourself for those. I hope you got some value out of this. Hit the thumbs up button if you did, and make sure to subscribe. I drop new guitar lessons every single day on this channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.